Greetings, Commanders! Welcome back to part 2 of Kerrash Landing episode 19, the Community Alpha Show, where we do the crazy so you don't have to. So at this point I should probably give a shout out to the guys at laveradio.com. I think anyone who's not listening to their podcast should go and check them out. They've just recently, 2 days ago I think, released their latest episode. It's worth having a look, talking about the alpha, well, just before the alpha was released, so worth checking that out. So a couple of requests have come in since I've gone. So the first one is to overheat my ship until it explodes. So, I mean, that is one of the really interesting things. You can see at the moment my cockpit is frosted up and now it's starting to heat up. The ice will start to melt away, which is nice. You can see the heat monitor there, the temperature sensor, is to the left of the scanner in the center of the HUD there. It's up to 22% and climbing. So whenever you switch into silent mode, which is what I'm on now, effectively everything disables. The shields are disabled, everything just goes off. So on the right hand side of my HUD there, the little signature pops down to nothing. So effectively I go about as invisible as I could possibly be on someone's radar. So you know, at a few kilometers distance you would essentially be invisible both to the eye and to the scanner, so it's going to be an effective tactic. Unfortunately, as you can see, the side effect of this is the without all your cooling fins opened on the back of your ship, you're not radiating out any heat for scanners to pick up, but it also means you're not radiating any heat, so your ship is going to continue to gather thermal energy internally. And whoops, it also works more effectively if you don't click the wrong button. What I thought I would do is I would we can have a look around the hull when it starts to get really, really hot in here. We can see all the effects on there. So a couple of the other suggestions in there. When it's possible to dock with space stations, people want to see how well I do with several beers in me. An alien suggested a great drinking game there. Every time I manage to successfully dock, I must down a shot. That would be an interesting challenge, I think. So we're now approaching nearly 120% heat output inside our ship, and we're not venting any of that waste heat. So we're going to start to run into issues. Let's turn off, whoops. Turn off everything but life support. That's one way to avoid it. See, the heat is going back down. So you can't just be sat there ready. Oops. Main thing being the drives here. The drives produce a heck of a lot of heat. Back up to 119 there. Greetings, Commander Wet Dog. We're just experimenting to see how much internal heat I can build up before things start to get nice and toasty in this inside this ship. Here we go. Now we're starting to see some effects. The power couplings are... Oh, Oh, yeah, that won't help. That really won't help. Boom, boom, boom! Yeah, reversing into an asteroid won't help. Oh, there goes bits of me. We are #1 on YouTube. Who are #1 on YouTube? Just type elite, no capitals. Bear in mind that YouTube may automatically kind of improve search results by looking at things you've previously looked at, so oh yeah, the Damocles video is now #1 when you search for the word elite on YouTube. Sweet! What happens when you search for my username? Oh dear. Missed every shot. Oh well. Boom! Really? You survived that? Took out most of your shields though. Boom. Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-ba. Beer. Cheers, folks. I just realised there's a little piece of duct tape there just over the fire extinguisher. So I'm sure we've all noticed in the forum recently there's an excessive number of threads about various things in the alpha. I do feel sorry for the mods at the moment. We shall have to get them something nice for Christmas for dealing with all of the trouble they have right now. I had a feeling things like this would happen actually as soon as the alpha comes out and suddenly the popularity kicks in, you know. Suddenly there's a heck of a lot more people on the forum that I've never seen before, so... That's right, Petrus, yes. Oh, didn't see you join. Greetings, Commander. Yes, I think we all have trouble keeping track of the forums. It's getting excessively active now with the alpha coming into the public eye, so it's just going to get more and more popular, which is good. You know, that's exactly what we need, so... Whoops. Just destroyed my bedroom here. I just noticed that actually. There appears to be 2 other planets just down over there. I don't know if that shows up very well in the stream. But there's definitely something there. A little planet and another moon, maybe? Interesting. Didn't notice that before, only noticed the main planet nearby. The plot thickens. On the subject of starting tasty conversations in the forum threads, something I did spot whilst I was nosing around inside the files was some really interesting information dealing with how the star systems are generated. And I know, see, I'm not a reliable source of information for those sorts of things, but there was some very, very interesting information about how the planets are generated. It seems to be at least data supporting the idea that there may be a simulation for the periodic table and all elements involved in it. So I don't know how much detail we're going to see in the planet generation, but there definitely seems to be information regarding chunk of a sidewinder flying above me now. Information regarding things like photosynthesis and production of certain chemicals in atmospheres and things like that, so whether or not the planets actually take that into account during their generation, whether or not it's just data which simply just pops up on some information screen somewhere intentional. But it was interesting seeing some of the things which are buried deep in the alpha files. Yep, that's true, Petrisk. Yeah, David has actually said many times that the planets in the star systems are all generated based on the real data that we know about how star systems form and develop. So it would be very interesting to see the results of that, I must admit. I was just a little bit surprised to see such detail that's gone into the data files. I mean, really, I wasn't expecting things like information about how the reactions of chemicals work with each other, things like that. Now, whether or not the atmospheres are going to take that into account, I don't know, but certainly interesting stuff. So, the thing I'm doing right now, what's affectionately known on the forums as the reverse Swizz. At least that's what I've seen a few people describe it as. There seems to be this, I wouldn't say flaw, but a limitation in the current combat AI that it doesn't it doesn't stop trying to chase after you, even if you're in full reverse and tracking it fully with your weapons and just slowly picking it off like that, which seems like a bit of a cheat to me, but hey, it's an effective combat tactic against these AIs. Huge hostile detected. Good luck. Let's get our shields back up. Croy there, yeah, it does sound amazing. I was really, really surprised to see all that detail in the files there. And as, I mean, no, you don't really need to have that much knowledge of looking around other things. I mean, I spend most of my time at work poking around in various binary files and things like that. So it's I doing it for fun as well, you know. But yeah, some interesting details in there. I can't believe they've actually calculated things to that depth. I'm just flicking through the subsystems now. Let's go for the shield gen. That's probably the best system to go for. You see the laser does try to train itself on the shield gen if you've got that subsystem targeted. That was the wrong button to press. I really didn't want to press that. So the boost option. There we go. Bad. The boost button on the controller only puts forward momentum into your ship. So accidentally pressing it means that even if you're in full reverse, you're suddenly going to thrust forward towards the ship. Don't click that button when reversing. Let's get those shields down. Come on. Commander Wet Dog, what controller am I using now? I am still favouring the Cytec X52 Pro, which just seems to be the controller of choice for this game. It works very, very well. So Cytec, if you're listening and you want a sponsorship deal, then certainly all funds I will put into the Elite Dangerous Kickstarter. Well, not Kickstarter, but what funding. I know the railgun isn't much use against shields, but I just find it so much fun. Just love the damage effect you see on it. Don't know if that shield gen is on the other side of the ship there, but struggling to hit it from this angle. Oh, I got it. Hit it with the railgun. Got it into 8% on the shield generator there. That's not going to do him any favours. See, his shields have taken a ridiculously large time to... Whoops. Too far away, didn't notice that. His shields are taking a heck of a long time to recover now. So definitely subsystem targeting seems to be a really good thing to do on bigger ships. What's the range with the railgun? All of the weapons at the moment seem to have the same basic range of around a 3-kilometer limit before they effectively stop working. So as far as I can tell, they're all equal. I haven't seen any huge variations in the weapon ranges. Naturally, missiles are more effective the closer you can get, so... What kind of modules does the Cobra has that you can destroy? I will load it as soon as I've defeated this one. I'll load up the scenario and we'll have a look at what subsystems he's got. I don't think it's as many as the Anaconda by a long shot, but again, like I did try earlier on in the big issue with the Cobras, because it's a much smaller hull. As soon as you get the shields down and start trying to attack subsystems, you end up doing so much damage to the hull anyway that you usually end up destroying it before you could take out the subsystems. I'm hoping that's something where subsystems maybe will become easier to pick off or something. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to balance it to be effective, but at the moment subsystem targeting seems to be a little bit redundant in some respects. Yeah, you know, in a lot of ways you're just better off, you know, slamming them with all weapons. Out of range. I keep going out of range and not even realizing I am going out of range. Excellent day. Bits of anaconda all over the place. Okay, that's the wrong scenario. Sorry, I should load up the option with the Cobra in it so I can show you some of the subsystems. No, that's not the right one either. Clumsy fingers tonight. Destroy the misfortune. Okay. Whoa! Should have put that into reverse flush a little there. Okie dokie. Let's have a look at the Cobra. So. No, go away. I'm just trying to look at your systems. Whoops. Don't leave it in reverse. Greetings, Commander Cooper Black. How are we doing there? I think Commander Shorty is watching, but she is rather silent. Incoming missile, Captain. They move quite quick, I must admit. Okay. So... The Misfortune. The Misfortune is currently equipped with dual front-facing pulse lasers, small missiles, 2 drive systems, a power distribution unit, a power plant, and a shield generation unit. How very dare you! Shooting at me whilst I'm trying to demonstrate things. Ah, my word. The AI does seem to be rather missile happy. Yeah, I have noticed that. You seem to be 3 or 4 kilometers away. It's like, missile! Missile! And obviously, a lot of us know from experience, I expect, that missiles are no good unless you're up close, really. Kerrash, play some chicken with the Cobra. Why not? Ah, Cooper Black, can I try something for you? Yes, certainly, by all means. That's what the show's all about. User request, well, viewer request, I should say. Yes. Right. There we go, incoming missile. 4.5 kilometers away and he's firing missiles already. Boom. Maximum power. Whee! Don't try this at home, folks. Chicking with a Cobra. It's not a good idea. Could I try and see what happens if we turn down all the power to the multi-guns, turning weapons energy all the way down? Okie dokie, no problem. Do 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 do. Oh, they are currently off. Okay, completely disabled. We get nothing. Power all the way down. Will they at least function? There don't seem to be any adverse effects of turning the weapons energy right down to minimum on there. I wonder if it's different with laser weapons though. Let's have a look at that and see if laser weapons operate differently. I think the amount of energy you're putting into the weapon systems seems to go mostly towards cooling. So turning all that energy down, I think the only thing that changes is your weapons can't cool effectively. So. Okay, what have we got? Beam laser. Awesome. Oh, we have chaff here. Okay, so if we put all of our energy into engines and system, nothing in weapons. So it's heating up very quickly. Thermal overload. Yeah. So, yeah, with no weapons power activated, the heat dissipation on laser weapons is effectively 0. So if I put 1 pip, there we go, 1 pip into weapons, and the heat's being dispersed out of the system now. There we go. Back to normal. Yeah, so it takes, so if you take all the power out of the weapon systems, the, oh, and how fast can it fire if you turn it all the way up? So this is one of the tactics I was actually doing in that last battle, but I didn't, probably didn't explain it very well as I was doing it. So let's get up close to a target and I can show you. So when it's out of range you lose all information on it, so I'm not going to try and fire at him, I'm just going to show you. So it takes a lot longer to reach its thermal capacity when you've got the weapons power right up. And you see it goes straight back into cooling, it cools down a heck of a lot quicker as well. So yeah, there is definitely an advantage of balancing that power output depending on what you currently want to do. Weapons fire is one of those cases. To get away, I can put those pips back into engine speed now. Power up that engine. Shorty had been delayed. Greetings, Commander Shorty. What are we doing today? Random things, whatever people come up with. People have even suggested trying to dock after drinking beer, which unfortunately there are no space stations to dock with yet in this version of the build, so hiding out of the way of this missile might be a good first thing to do. Oh dear. Where did he go? Which way did he go, George? Just leaves ourselves spinning like a little bit of space debris. Keeping us all happy, yes. That's the plan. That's what we're trying to do anyway. He's gradually creeping away. Contact lost. I wonder if sitting here like a piece of space debris is enough to fool him into thinking we're gone. Turn my lights on. There we go. Love the lighting effect, actually. I can imagine having some really interesting mining missions and things like that, and digging through the debris of a huge space ship, and or whatever's left lying behind. Turn the lights on, having a nose around, seeing what things you can find. It's going to be some really interesting quests and things that come out of this. One contact lost in the top right there, so... Oh, whoops. Yeah, let's release that. That wasn't actually me scraping on the asteroid, though. There we go. Where did that go? I can see it steaming off. There's the little heat sink there. Can't shoot it. Gone. It's gone. It's gone. So it is effective. If you do hide behind the asteroid long enough, put yourself into silent running mode, you can completely drop off the radar, these things, but you have to kind of get out of their sight and get out of their scanner range as well. Blow something up. Pew pew lasers. Ooh, that's excellent, Croy. Shorty and myself will gladly help you with your quest to build a Sidewinder in Minecraft. Are you going for large scale? That seems to be the way that things are built in Minecraft. I would gladly help you do that as accurately as I can. And Shorty and I have actually done quite a few things on Minecraft before, so... That is right, Shorty. They do seem to think of everything. We were just saying earlier on, I've been sneaking around, and I found out that there seems to be, for each of the planets, it calculates the composition of the atmosphere and reactions of various compounds and things. So if you had a particular system that was built up, it would calculate things like the CO2 levels and things like that of the atmosphere to figure out what kind of planet it would be like and things like that. There's a whole system built into the game for all of the elements of the periodic table, would you believe? It's all hidden in there, ready for us to play with on the next versions. I mean, I don't know for certain exactly how much of that is going to be available in the final game, but it all looks very interesting at the moment. I can't wait to see where they're going with all this stuff. So, something I've been thinking about today is I wonder how much football we can play with one of these containers. Oh! Yes, we have to keep it at very, very low velocity. Let's try it entirely with thrusters alone, I think, or get up close to one. That must be the planet Slough. Oh, yep, too fast again. I will do it. I will do it. I'm nothing if not persistent. Persistently annoying, that is. Something I was wondering about today is, you know, in theory, how far could you get these to go? I mean, if I keep just adding a little bit of velocity to it. Where did that go? No, too fast. Damn it. Where's that other one gone? No, that's the beacon. We don't want the beacon. Try ramming the nav beacon. I'm aware that the nav beacon is effectively stationary, so I think it's built into this scenario just as a common anchor point for the mission. So it's the beacon is actually completely stationary. You can't destroy it or move it. So I'm sorry. Sulfur volcanoes. That's radiation containers ready to be taken to the lower Slough atmosphere. Oh dear. Very, very delicate things, these. I think scooping cargo is definitely going to be a heck of a lot easier in this version of the game than Frontier Elite 2, I must admit. It was one of those very difficult things I rarely bothered trying to do on the Amiga. Oh, how far can we punt this thing? Yes, the particle effects are quite awesome actually. I wish I could see them in with the Oculus Rift on, because particle effects are one of those things that looks absolutely awesome. You do get a true sense of depth with it. Oh, so their destruction seems to be linked to their velocity. Damn, I was hoping I could spin it around really fast. Beacon is taunting you here. Beep 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 beep. Beep beep beep. Oh, damn. Ramming speed. No. Yeah, see what I mean? Completely stationary, bulletproof, that thing. Of course, that's only for this scenario. Real beacons in the real game are most likely going to be fully destroyable. Just realised my entire view is off center because I was using the whoa. Wee. Now how come I managed to punt that one? Whoa. Slough has no atmosphere. No real nightlife there then. Let me adjust the oh, damn. Go away, you stupid beacon. Boom. Oh yeah, good point actually was we did figure out yesterday that Morse code seems to spell out leet. Did someone check that? Do I ever try to set speed, not to boost, but to set to something? Sorry, I don't understand exactly what you mean there. Love the Geiger counter effects. Yeah, you are near a radioactive container. Damn it. Greetings, Commander Timmy. So we're just playing Punt the Radioactive Container. Why? Because we can. And the game is detailed enough that it allows you to do silly things like that. Seeing how far we can nudge this thing. Which way did it go? See if I can bash it into an asteroid actually. It's going to take some pushing, but... no, of course my ship is wedge-shaped, so... That's more like it. Head towards that asteroid, little container. Go on, your destiny awaiteth. Ah, damn it. Ah, right, so you can set a keyboard bind or something like 50% speed, 100% speed and all that. I haven't tried that yet, actually. Let me give that a go, see if there's... of course, with the Hot House controller, it's... Let me just... Oh, no, I don't want that. Set speed to 0. Haven't tried that one. Yeah, with my X52 controller, I've not really tried any of the other options for that, to be honest. I mean, it works. That works okay. Yeah, I suppose with various keyboard commands, that would probably probably work very well with some keyboard configurations. I couldn't resist. So, if my ship was coated in radioactive material from antics such as this, would the police chase you out of a system where radioactives are illegal? I certainly hope so. It only seems fair, really, doesn't it? I can imagine that would be my luck. No. No. No precious metals. No. Oh, there's my shadow. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh. Oh. Ow. Ow. Oh. Oh. Crunch. Yeah. So that's one of the things I've actually reported, is that you can intersect asteroids that are rotating. I just love that grinding metal sound. Yeah, I like that suggestion there of somewhere in the space station to wash your ship. That'd be a good one. Yeah, yeah. These are all the cosmic rays where the ship's going to be exposed to. Then yeah, it's going to be a pretty radioactive lump of metal anyway. Very good point. A bug. Ah. Yeah, that is. I've already reported that one. The very rapid spinning asteroids, you can get stuck inside their bounding boxes. Now, I think a lot of what that is actually is these asteroids are actually been handcrafted. Believe it or not, there is actually an algorithm built into the game to make randomly generated asteroids. But shortly before Alpha, Frontier decided they weren't happy with the algorithm. It didn't quite look natural enough, so they decided to get their art team to make a bunch of hand-generated asteroids, which, I mean, personally, in my eyes, they look so random anyway, I could not tell the difference. I mean, look at all those asteroids there. You wouldn't have been able to pick out that they were all handcrafted and swapped and changed in. But yes, there is a plan that the later release will support fully dynamic asteroids generated on the fly, so I assume their bounding boxes for the collision detection will also be updated similarly. So Okay, another question in there. Deathwatch. After release, when we are going to get planetary landing, I wonder how they will do entering the planetary atmosphere. Will we get guidance for the optimal route, or will it be entirely manual? Good point. I haven't thought about it. Now I know in the previous game, it was completely. It could be completely manual. You could just put it on autopilot and just land straight straight on the planet. But no, I don't know. I mean, I'd prefer it to have the same freedom that the previous game had, that you could manually land entirely on the planet if you want to. Donk. Yes, I'm really not going to be able to read the chat feed whilst I'm playing this game. Multiplayer, that is. Crash, have you tried flying to the planet? Yeah, and a couple of other people just said under there as well. Yeah, it's the planet is an actual real 3D planet. It is genuinely there. It's not just a part of a backdrop like you see in some other games. That planet definitely is there. Unfortunately, we can't get to it in the current build because the combat scenarios are designed to keep you in a small area. So I think the scenario just simply times out after you get so close to it, which is a shame. Maybe the next build will have a bit more exploration in it. Perhaps maybe we can go to different planets within the same system. Oh, sorry, Maxron, I nearly missed your thing. Where do I know that from? What was I talking about? My word. Delay on the chat is a killer. The asteroids, yes. So the handcrafted asteroids. Mike Evans was on the stream. He's the lead designer of the game, so I hope I've got that right. Yeah, he was on the chat stream the other night on here, and confirmed that the asteroids were in fact handcrafted, but there is a generation algorithm built in. Frontier kind of perfectionists, they want to get it right. Try to find an asteroid shaped like a... yeah, I'm not going to repeat that. Yes, that's right, Cubistan. Yes, they use the algorithm to generate the positions of the asteroids, the rotations and whatnot, but they don't generate the shapes of the asteroids yet. Wonder if we can fight in the atmosphere. That's a good question, Commander Wet Dog. Yeah, it definitely will be interesting. I mean, that's something you can do in the previous game. Tends to be with the local law enforcement when you don't dock correctly or fire your lasers off. So yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, some of the concept art that was shown early on was some ships flying in amongst the clouds of a gas giant. So why not allow that in smaller planets? I think it would definitely be an interesting combat scenario. Just going to see how far I can get whilst I answer a few questions. Yeah, good point, Deathwatch. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Like when you re-enter the atmosphere, perhaps your ship's HUD will give you a target vector or something like that that you can enter the atmosphere on to make an approach to whatever spaceport you're aiming for. Yeah, I think something like that would be pretty good. You know, complete freedom, so if you wanted to, you could just go off and do it manually, but then you've got to balance the external heat or something, perhaps, maybe. So if you just dive straight into an atmosphere, there's still a chance of burning up even with full shielding. Yeah, that's right. I don't know why you'd get banned for sharing a link there, Deathwatch. I've got no issue with it. So, yeah, that's a good good point there, Commander. Dynamics boom, which one that is? Yeah, on planets which have got heavily developed cities and whatnot, then you assume you probably would have a flight vector to enter the atmosphere. It wouldn't just be a simple case of go where you want. Most systems would probably frown on that, but for unpopulated planets you can visit to mine for resources and things like that, and I assume it's up to you, so I think they'd probably need a combination of two of those systems, allowing you to manually re-enter the atmosphere wherever you please, but giving you a flight vector where you're supposed to be. It'd make for interesting law enforcement problems as well. You didn't follow the route you were given. Problem is we don't know how supercruise will work in the atmosphere. Good point, actually. For those who don't know, the ships are planned to have essentially almost like 3 gears in terms of the way that they work. So you can effectively have the mode that I'm at now, which is your normal fight, and combat and maneuvering mode. So I can get up to almost 300 meters per second with full power on these engines at these modes. You're then going to have your super cruise mode, which is effectively very, very high speed travel. This asteroid field just seems to go on forever. Look at the size of it. Gee whiz. It's huge. Mike did say it would take a heck of a long time to get to the planet. I don't think we're going to get to it before the scenario basically times out, but hey. Yeah, so Super Cruise is the next mode up. You're not going to be able to effectively perform any combat, but you're going to be travelling at, I think, close to luminal velocities, close to the speed of light with Super Cruise mode, and it's going to be the main way to get between planets within a minute or two, something like that. So that's going to be an interesting thing when we find out that. I don't know whether we're going to be able to use Super Cruise velocities inside the atmosphere. I mean, obviously, travelling at 300 meters per second is still going to take a heck of a long time to approach a planet and find a docking port at those sorts of speeds, so I don't know whether that's going to be an effective speed to travel at. Whoops, put my guns away, don't need them. Yeah, and that's a good point there, Croy. Yeah, sorry, I've only just caught up with your chat there. There have been discussions about when you switch into Super Cruise mode, large bodies of mass can basically pull you out because of their gravitational well. They can pull you out of Super Cruise mode. So if you're close to a planet, you probably won't be able to use Super Cruise. So if you're in the atmosphere, you're not going to be able to use Super Cruise either. So I mean, it's interesting. I mean, obviously with this ship is a cruise velocity of between 200 and 300 meters per second. I can't do the math in my head right now, but I wonder how long that would take to travel through an atmosphere to land. Just watch out. Can you repair your internal cockpit issues yet, or haven't you found it? If you can, in one of the later releases, we will be able to repair our cockpits, but there's going to be several ways of doing it. I mean, from the previous game, the main way of repairing was to get to a space station, or in this case, there's going to be shipyards and various other facilities that will be able to repair your ship. To repair the various parts. Also, some of the higher level equipment you can get on the larger ships. You can get things like hull auto repair systems, but no mention of whether you could, if you visibly damage your cockpit, whether they can be repaired. But I assume it's, it's all related, it's all interlinked into your hull damage. Three 300 meters a second, yeah, so Petrus, there it would be in the order of tens of minutes to get through an atmosphere. I mean, I'd be quite happy with that. It'd be one of those satisfying things to achieve, I suppose, but it's going to be a balance, I suppose, between the more casual players that don't want to be sat trying to perform an atmospheric re-entry with any level of patience there. Shorty, you may have already talked about it. Can you mine? You will be able to mine. Currently, it's not in the alpha because we're all about combat here, but these lovely great lumps of rock are not here for show. They will actually be filled up with all sorts of goodies and resources that you'll be able to gather. We don't know how exactly mining is going to work at the moment. There's lots and lots of options being talked about on the design discussion forum. But I think the two key candidates are similar to what previous games have done, where you can have a mining laser allowing you to blow off large chunks of the rock and scoop them up, and you used to be able to have a MB4 mining machine, which was like a large rover-like thing that would go off and drill holes and, you know, do whatever it needs to do to gather resources for you. Right, yeah, so what about frictions in the atmosphere? You can't travel too fast. I'm assuming that's one of the things that's going to be used as a reason why planetary landing is not allowed in the initial release, is that ships are basically not capable of entering the atmosphere and traveling at high speed in order to reach docking bays due to, you know, atmospheric re-entry effects would be destroying your shields and hull, basically, so I assume that's one of the reasons anyway. Max ran there. You wonder what happens if you accidentally supercruise for an asteroid field. I suppose that would be akin to just driving blindfolded through a forest and hoping you don't hit a tree. Yeah, good point. If you're traveling at 500 meters per second, it's still okay for traveling in the atmosphere, but it would take about 3 hours to get from London to Los Angeles. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people complaining about that, I imagine. You wonder if you get mass locked out of supercruise right in front of a big asteroid. Yeah, that would be the worst case scenario. You just jump in, and suddenly you come out of high speed travel directly in front of a large asteroid. That would suck. Pelin 86 there. Would there be just automatic landing? And yeah, Petrisk, exactly. One of the biggest draws of the previous game to this was the fact that the planets were all completely seamless, so you could quite happily fly down anywhere you wanted on any planet without any limitations. There was no kind of cutscenes. You always were in the cockpit of your ship. You know, there was no kind of like, oh, loading, you're entering the planet atmosphere here or something like that. It was all completely seamless, which is one of the big things about this game that not a lot of other games do. And that's a good point. Petrisk, yeah, they've already said, don't worry about how we're going to be doing it now. You know, it's planetary landing is not being bundled as part of the initial release. It's coming in a later version anyway, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, so to speak. Goodbye, Petrisk. Croy there. What sort of dog do I have? I'm sorry. Yes, he is coming across on the feet tonight. He was lonely downstairs, so he wanted to come up and see what I was doing. I've actually got two dogs. I've got a Westie. He's quite quiet in the corner, but the Labrador keeps shaking his ears, and it's I know it's coming across on the audio. Detonator. Greetings, Commander. Am I doing a free roam night now? Yeah, kind of. I was just taking a few seconds to answer questions, so we were heading towards this planet, which would quite literally take hours, so I'm not going to continue doing this. I'm going to leave it open to you guys to give me a shout if there's anything you want me to do or show you. Crash into asteroids seems to be my most favoured thing to do. Cross that atmospheric boundary. Yes, I'm. I know I won't be able to. I'm aware that the combat scenario will time out if I travel too far in this direction. But it is interesting how much of this is, you know, this will continue to keep generating this asteroid field no matter how far I go. You know, and this goes to show how flexible the engine is and the things that are going to be capable in the full game. You could quite literally get lost in this game for hours. I mean, can you imagine searching around in an asteroid field this big to find resources? I mean, my word, it would quite literally take your entire life to kind of to do something like that. It's ridiculous. This game is going to be so enormous. I just don't see anyone ever being able to do everything which is possible within it. It's going to be fantastic. See if I can reach the planet. I can keep trying, but I doubt very much I will actually be able to reach the planet. In fact, I'm fairly certain the scenario will prevent me from doing that. Try to take out the beam laser on the Anaconda scenario. I hate that thing. Yes, I'll have a look at that. Try the lateral thrust challenge again through the asteroid field. Okay, as I'm in the asteroid field, I'll try that first. But I will try and take out that beam laser on that damn Anaconda. You thought they were handcrafted. Do they look worse if you go too far? No, they use the same models. The only thing that's generated is the positions. And some of you might have noticed a few of them popping in at the far distance there. So yeah, the asteroids are all handcrafted at the moment. They are all going to be completely unique asteroids at some point in a future release. But yeah, they are currently just being having their positions and rotations generated by the procedural algorithm. So I have actually disabled flight assist now. I'm only flying 15 times faster than Usain Bolt. Oh, sharpshifter. I'm sorry. We seem to be having issues with the chat again, so there may be a few lines I'm missing, unfortunately. I do apologize for that. I will have to practice with this lateral thrust. See how close I can get to some of the asteroids. I think I'm going to have to switch to the Anaconda mission and try taking out that beam laser, because I didn't realise we're actually coming up to an hour and a half on the second part of this now, actually. I haven't got long to do that mission, so let's start at that mission. Okie dokie. Let's find the big score. Whoops, wrong button there. Trying to get a grip on the controller. Come on, come on. Oh. Didn't realize you were closer, mister. Oh dear. Typical. Just the wrong time for my weapons to overheat there. There you are. Why do I always do that? I just fire and fire and fire even though I'm at a ridiculously long distance. So I know there is one behind me, but I'm hoping my wingman is going to take him out. It's not too much to ask, is it? It's only one NPC versus another. Right, there's one more somewhere. Where are you? He's chasing my wingman. Come on. Come on. Turn and face me. Come on. There we go. So I'm so lazy I can't even be bothered to take it at a reverse thrust. Oh, so that's interesting actually. Reverse thrust is 129. Let's see what forward thrust will go up to. About the same. Oh, I'm way too close now. Oh, that's that beam laser kicks in at about 2 kilometers. Where is it? No, I can beam turret. There we go. Hate that thing. Okay, I'm sorry if I've missed a couple of questions in the meantime. There, I've been focusing on the task at hand, as it were. Put all my energy into weaponry. Oh, there goes my wingman. You get too close to the anaconda, it will bite. You can see the laser is kind of tracking that subsystem I've targeted there. Little positive sign on the hull. Do I manage to finish at 10:30? I can probably go up to 11 if that's better for everyone. I need to stop crossing the streams. So I'm hoping that these small missiles I can use to take out that turret once the shields are fully down. If the wingman's that stupid, he deserves to die. Should the canopy darken like those photoreactive lenses? Yeah, good point actually. I kind of like seeing all the scratches and things in there. It gives a nice effect of depth on there. And I imagine that'll look really good with the Oculus Rift on. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point really. Wouldn't the systems be reactive like that? I mean, I imagine to some degree they are filtering the sunlight, because it'll probably destroy your eyes at this sort of brightness. There's that godforsaken beam laser. Die. Trying to get in close. Come on. Shorty's gonna... I think these missiles are dumbfire missiles, yeah, they really have no sense of orientation or anything. No, I just cannot seem to get a hit on that beam laser. Maybe it's on the other side of the ship and we just can't see. See how we're basically, I'm ticking away at the hull, even if it's, that laser is completely trained on the little subsystem marker there. This is the issue I've had with subsystem targeted. It seems to be very, very difficult. Either that or I'm just not doing it correctly. But I've managed to get a few hits. I mean, on one of the earlier missions, I got the Cobra, I think it was. No, I think it was in the Anaconda mission I did earlier on. I managed to get the shield generator down to 8%, which worked well. I wouldn't normally follow this tactic, but... problem is his shields are going to come back up any second now. There we go. Have to get them right back down again. Come on. Oh, I was doing that. Are you too young to join the Outer Council? Yes, there are a lot of older players in this community, but I think that's why I enjoy it so much. By no means, you're You're not too young. I think I'm, other than Commander Shorty, I'm probably the youngest here, actually. Sorry. Just trying to keep that distance over 2 kilometers. As soon as I get within 2 kilometer range, his beam laser can train on me. There it is. So we definitely got the right side of the ship. Ah, I knew he would get me. There, see, before I could even get his beam laser down at all, I completely decimated his hull. One Vigor, yes, one Vigor is actually younger than me, so yeah, he wins the youngest elite fan, I think. Jaga Jazzis, when is this game going to be done? The release is scheduled for around March 2014. So we're all hoping they meet that target. So far, Frontier have met every single target they've set for themselves, so it's going really well at the moment. So fingers crossed they will continue at the insane pace that they've managed to do. It's very impressive. Oh, it's Aliens answered you, sorry. Yeah, no problem, Sharpshifter. It's, I've got all the time in the world. No. Yeah, it does seem that there doesn't seem to be any effective way of taking out the beam laser from the Anaconda. The Atari ST version had the best hyperspace sequence. See, I'm less familiar with that one. I was an Amiga fan myself. Oh, I love that railgun. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Really? That didn't completely destroy him? I'll wait for him to get that last little hope. He's like, wait for him to get his shields up. Come on, come and get me. And then I'll just... Oh, ho, ho, bad timing. His shields just come back up before I did it. Never mind. Still, a bit of an insult, isn't it? Either way, yeah, there's definitely some distortion effects going on those hyperspace clouds when they kick in. Okay, farewell, Commander. Thanks for joining the stream tonight. So you've got me intrigued now, Croy. I want to see this Minecraft model of the Sidewinder. I'm going to have to stop myself playing the alpha for a little while to do that, though. Which is... It's easier said than done. It's just so addictive. I just want to keep playing these scenarios over and over again. Boom! Ah, greetings, Commander. I'm on the one from last scenario on the Alpha incursion. The scenario is known on 10 ways of increasingly difficult enemies to attack. That's the fragments of the previous enemy that decided to mess with me. This one's a little tougher. It's the railgun in action. I love the effect of the railgun when it gets a hit. Exactly. Yeah. The dev diary did say that the beta is probably going to go into an extended gamma phase, or whatever you might call it. Kind of like a perpetual beta, that sort of thing, where it's constantly tweaked. So yeah, so it's probably going to be pushing out the March release date, I imagine. Deathwatch, you think the game would be more fun if the weapons didn't auto-track? Yeah, I mean, to a degree I really like the way the railgun works. And there's no auto-tracking on the railgun, you have to get it dead on. So yeah, it's an interesting balance you have to strike. Oh, goodbye, Commander Shorty. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Zoom lance for the railgun. We got a little bit of a zoom we can do. That kind of helps, actually. Beam laser is out of range. Why is the beam laser out of range? Oh, that's interesting. The beam laser won't fire when I'm zoomed in, but the railgun quite happily does. It's cool animation on the railgun, actually. I've never really looked at that up close. Oh. Bits of ship there I have to avoid. Yeah, some of the targeting systems go a little bit AWOL when you're zoomed in on the scanner. Damn you. Do 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 do. Yeah, wet dog there. You always try to ram the shipwrecks. I know, it's fun. It was something I said during a thread on the forum. Actually, I thought, oh, I can't wait to be able to destroy a ship and fly through the wreckage of it. And now I can. Am I going backwards? Yes, sorry, I missed that earlier chat there. Yes, I'm going backwards. There is a bit of a loophole in the way that the combat AI works at the moment, where in an open expanse like this, the game, well, the game AI at the moment, we know it's placeholder, we know it hasn't been finalised. It doesn't actually compensate for you to basically sitting in reverse, picking them off one by one, which is not the ideal gameplay. But hey, it works. And this is one of the things, I mean, I was talking to someone on the forums about this tactic actually. I mean, I don't like it, I don't condone it, I don't think it's fitting with the style of gameplay which is supposed to be elite, but at the moment there doesn't seem to be any better tactics for doing these things. I'd like to try some other suggestions if people think there's a more effective way of doing it. You think the Alpha is a bad commercial for the Condor? Yeah, it doesn't fare well in this, does it? Rocco, yeah, that is one of the issues with it, with the tactic of just flying backwards. And you've got long-range weapons, the ship's always going to win the fight, and this is one of the things that's being discussed on the forums right now, is how can we negate that advantage. So we've been playing around with the ideas of perhaps nerfing your backwards velocity so you can't go as fast backwards as other ships, which seems like a a fair point. You shouldn't be able to travel at ridiculously high speeds backwards when the majority of your thrust is vectoring out of the rear of the ship. So that seems like a fair point, I think. But yeah, it's a known problem. It's not sure how it's going to be dealt with just yet. At any point when I do something stupid is because I'm trying to catch up on comments there. Enstrut, yeah, that is true actually. In Frontier Elite 2, the retro thrusters were always weaker than your main thrusters, so I'm assuming that's going to be the main point of contention here. I think that definitely seems like the best option. Boom! Heck of a explode. Okay, so catch up with a couple of questions, sorry. No, will be able to save your progress from beta, do you think? I doubt it. Normally in alpha beta processes there tends to be mass resets of all progress, if nothing else, and keep things fair, but sometimes there's just incompatibilities with information passed over save game files and whatnot. Wet dog there. Have you seen the thruster rotors turning on the Anacondas? Yes, they do look really cool when you get up close on those, actually. Bakadakara there, yes, if you're losing a fight because someone's using that tactic against you, then you could just jump out of the way. I mean, that's the thing I said with the AI, actually, is either ships' maneuvering capabilities are reduced in, reverse thrust, like I was just saying, or the AI would have to be updated to recognize someone trying to use that tactic and effectively. I mean, what they do is if, say for example, if I annoy this one, if I can actually hit it, there we go. Right, suitably annoyed. He would come flying after me. Now the issue is the AI effectively just comes flying straight at you in a straight line, trying to shoot its weapons at you at the moment. If it doesn't actually lose you in the process. Sorry, this AI is a little less aggressive than some of the others. But yeah, they just come flying at you in a straight line, trying to shoot his weapons, and it will never make any attempt to fly away from you, effectively. If I can try and get this to... There he is. Come on. Probably end up destroying me before I can demonstrate this, as the issue with doing this against another Sidewinder is the maneuverability is virtually identical. So you can see at this range he's basically stopped firing at us. He's not interested in shooting. So I suppose another thing you could do is humans all know that the effective weapon range is about 3 kilometers, so I suppose AI should start shooting at the same range if you balance out that thing. Maybe that would stop him. And perhaps the AI should recognize you attempting to pull this maneuver and effectively avoid you or move around a little bit more rather than just travelling straight at you in a straight line, perhaps. All stuff to be tweaked and tuned, obviously. It will be sorted out in the upcoming releases. There we go. I'm gonna suffocate, but hey, I won. What do I think about crowd control abilities like snares, like missiles that slow your ship down for a couple of seconds? Similar things have actually been discussed on the threads before. Particularly, what we haven't seen at the moment is the next portion of travel. So the ships at the moment are only basically combat mode with the low speed travel, but the super cruise, effectively the second gear of travel, there is talk of there being systems allowing you to set up traps and things like that, so that you have effectively something like a gravity well generator that may pull people out of super cruise. So I think it could be an interesting idea. It's definitely going to encourage people to get into combat more often. Is it an MMO? Depends on your definition of the term MMO, I suppose. I prefer flexi player, which has been brandished around the forum. Yeah, at the moment the The Cobra is not available as a flyable ship in the alpha right now, which is it's a shame, because it's a favourite ship, but still, I assume that's down to the fact that Frontier haven't had a chance to finish the cockpit models for it yet, so... Yep, you guessed it. Reading the chat. Sorry, folks. Where do you think I get my nickname from? Okay, let's have some fun. Die! Sorry, got carried away there. Flexi player sounds awful, yes, good point. You should explode if you hit an asteroid like that. Yes, if you hit it hard enough, you will. Oops. Excuse me, folks. Okay, folks, with that, I've just realised we're getting close to the 2-hour marker anyway, so I'm going to have to call it a day, as usual. Thank you very much for watching everything tonight. Any more comments and suggestions, you're welcome to drop them on the forum if you think of it after the stream's ended, and hopefully we can fulfill that in the next episode. Proof that live animals and yes. Yes, I will need to go sort what the dog has just knocked over, definitely. So yep, so again, thanks to everyone at Frontier Developments for making this possible, and we'll see you again for the next episode. Thank you.